Hey folks, my name is Pravus. Welcome back to more After Inc. Revival as we continue with our Mega Brutal Guide series. We're moving on to Natural Order. Conspiracy theories run rampant in the bunker. Is everything the survivors know about the outside world a lie? Well, there's only one way to find out, and so the blast doors are forced open. What a bunch of morons! But okay. This map's actually a little bit tough, not because the objectives are too strenuous, but because the map is a little bit challenging. You'll see what I mean in a bit. As far as leaders, I don't love most of these choices. I actually do think I can make the Arctic Explorer work here, though. It's a little bit tight, but we're just going to save a lot of our exploration and expansion for winter, and there is a lot of expansion this time around. As far as traits, this seems to be the clear winner here. We do have effectively 5 free stamina, which early on is going to be nice and offset some of the damage of the Arctic Explorer. So let's go ahead and set up over here, and let me pull up the map real quick. So in this map, it looks like there's plenty of resources nearby. You've got some forests over to the west. There's a fair bit of food nearby. The river's positioning is a little unfortunate. That's going to block a lot of our eastward expansion. The big issue is, as you can see, there are a handful of infestations, and this map doesn't make it very obvious, but there's lots of zombies that are hiding in the corners. So it's very difficult to expand quickly on this map without accidentally triggering a surprise attack. That means you need to do a lot of exploration to avoid that, and we're going to have an early fighter. If we can do that, though, we'll be fine. The first goal here is to produce 5 fuel, which we can do with a quick scavenge mission. Then we need to reach population 4, explore 7 areas, maintain 10 food, then claim 2 swamp areas, and there are, I think, 3 on this map. So we're probably going to expand directly to the north and all the way to the west, and ignore the one on the east. So we have to expand in those directions. Then we cleanse out 3 infestations out of the 4, and follow that up with kill all zombies. So no matter what, we are going to be fighting absolutely everything. Finally, to finish it off, we claim 12 areas, and to be honest, by the time that you've cleared all the zombies, you're probably going to have claimed about that much territory anyway. So really, this is just a tricky expansion map. If we can find a good way to navigate that, though, we'll be fine. Let's go ahead and settle down here. Now, one thing that makes me nervous is that we don't have immediate access to a forest. So we're going to start exploring off in this direction, even though it's a little bit more expensive as the Arctic Explorer. Let's grab ourselves a quick scavenge of some wood and of some food, and we are going to have to do some fuel just to fulfill that objective nice and quickly. Let's get ourselves a well, a basic toilet, and of course we need to go for 2 tents, though I will be going for a fighter pretty much right away as well, since we did have a little bit of extra stamina and some discounts early on. I think that's going to be helpful. Let's start exploring in this direction, because unfortunately I cannot wait to get any wood production. These are pretty much the only 2 safe tiles that I think we are going to get, which is a little annoying, but I mean, it's just how it's going to be. Let's claim this region, then we need to move up over here. There's my 5 fuel, so we got that before the impatience kicked in. Now we start building up our population, and we do need to get up to level 4 relatively quickly. We've got plenty of food here, so I could go for the cattle farm. I don't have to necessarily do that yet, but I will soon. We actually kind of want to go for technology level 2 if we can. 5 stamina to claim this 1 forest, though. Dude, that is just mean, mean, mean. Yeah, this is the one downside of playing here as this Arctic Explorer, and I am a little bit nervous about this. Claiming the early game territory we need is going to be a little bit on the tricky side. We are barely producing enough water, but we can boost this up a little bit further. I just need to produce some, please, so I can get this event. I really don't want to have to risk any death or anything stupid like that. There we go. We could rest. Stamina paused. I can't afford to do that because we have to claim these regions. Come on, give me the 2 water that I so desperately crave. Let's go ahead and claim this here. All right, I don't really have a choice. I'm going to have to take the 11% chance of death. Thank God that didn't work out against me. Okay, I was a little afraid that it would. We're probably going to have to do a lot of scavenging this time around in order to have enough fuel. So be aware that that is going to be a threat. Let's go ahead and get a firewood splitter plus a little storage so I don't waste any of this. If we can get a little bit of extra firewood, that might save me some stamina in the long run. Get the cattle farm going now. We don't have much in the way of food. The next obvious place to get some food is right down here, but unfortunately there's an infestation right next to it, which is why you kind of have to have a fighter ready to go early on. Let's go for that technology, because by the time that we get to population level 3, which is right about now, we're going to need to have that. Otherwise, we're going to have a problem. What are we currently lacking? Is it just the food? I think it might be. So let's go ahead and scavenge here. We did get some cost reduction from the fighter right now, which is nice. I'll need 3 stamina to go for another round of food, so be afraid of that. We did get a surprise attack, but we're still close enough to our city that we'll be fine there. Do a scavenge there, and I'm going to go ahead and preemptively do some scavenging along there. Come on, come on, come on. We just got to finish out this gosh dang technology. What do we have here? Punish slackers, service consumption, chance of unrest. I think that's probably going to be the best way to go. Chance of unrest sucks, but the service consumption will make it a little bit easier to maintain morale, get myself back into the positive. So we kind of, what are we lacking again? Is it just the wood? I think it's just the wood. We have no lumber yard, so I'm not producing anything, so we can't finish off the tech. That's the reason we're having problems right now. Oh boy. Oh boy, everything's messed up because I chose the Arctic Explorer. Absolutely everything is messed up. I'm working on it though. We'll get through it. We'll get through it. Just need to get that tech, please, so we can stop burning through some of our authority. There we go. Took a little bit more there. And of course, now we have an event where I have to send some fuel or else we lose our only forest, and that would be GG for us. So let's go ahead and do another scavenge fuel. Just don't be afraid to have to use a lot of your stamina in order to get through this. Now, this is what I've been waiting for here, though, because now we're heading into winter, and that means everything is going to be cheap for us. Normally, I would say go ahead and start exploring in a few other places, but now we're going to take advantage of the Arctic Explorer, and this is where we start to pop off. Let's get ourselves just a little bit of something, a little bit of improved housing is going to be hopefully enough. I just need to get this fuel, man. The fuel is what's going to get me killed here. Come on. A little bit of fuel just to keep the fires lit. Once the fires are lit, we'll be fine. I would love to get myself another fighter, but I don't think we can. We can get another firewood splitter just to offset a little bit of the loss here. So I can claim some territory. Claiming territory down here would just trigger a bunch of attacks, so we don't want to do that. I can safely claim the swamp. Normally I would not do this, but you're going to have to for your objective later, and this currently is not going to be a threat to me, I don't believe, so I don't really see any downside to doing that. We have our first round of unrest because of that event, so we're going to go ahead and move over here with our fighters so that we can have an unpredictable outcome and quell it. Looks like we are going to be fine. I do need to do another scavenge, so we're spending all of our stamina just trying to survive right now, and I have to go for population level 4, so let's go ahead and work on that. We can burn some some wood in order to get some fuel. I can burn all of my wood. We can generate some wood. We are struggling to generate any of the firewood. Let's get ourselves another lumberyard, though, just so we can get a little bit of power to us. There we go. All right, now we're starting to look okay. Where else can I explore anything for free? We want to make sure we do that because we're going to have to do a lot of expansion later on. This is going to be relatively cheap, so I'll pick this up. And this is my last chance to do some expansion before the end of the winter, so I'm trying to get a little bit more stamina. I am going to claim this region. We're going to move down here because I want to get the extra food production. I could claim this forest. That's a little risky. I'm going to instead... Do I want to claim this? No, that's the problem. Everywhere I could possibly expand is potentially dangerous for me, but I will take advantage of some last explorations. So let's just go ahead and spend everything I've got, get the cheap explorations while I can. That's all locked in. And now we can start producing some proper food at the fruit orchard. The cows are producing something throughout the winter, which is nice. It's just, it's not enough. The cows pretty much can't sustain very much population at all. I'm going to do an improvisation here and try to get something. There we go. Basic resource production going up is a very, very nice deal. There's the population just as the impatience is starting to kick in, so we're actually good there. We've grown, so we get a bit more stamina. Now I just need to get things like a town square, and I need to get a makeshift kitchen, and I guess we could just do a toilet instead. I'm just trying to get my service nice and high because now we need to maintain 10 food. Now, 10 food can be done by simply getting myself some storage, which we'll do a couple of times, and then maybe 1 or 2 of the scavenging, but I would rather produce the food locally, obviously, if we can. So let's get the fruit orchard up and running. We're going to go ahead and move over here and deal with the zombies that are heading my direction. We should have some protection from the city. This infestation's been pretty quiet for us so far, which I don't think is reliable, but I'm quite happy that that is the case. The lack of wood is obliterating me right now, and I probably should consider going for a wood scavenge, which I'm going to do twice, actually, because we got a lot of structures that we're going to need to start building up here, and it's definitely taking its sweet, sweet time. So we have enough storage for our food. 3 stamina for a scavenge seems terrible, so I'm going to hold off on that. Let's get ourselves another well, because I know I'm going to need one of those as the population has grown. Boop, boop. Plenty of wood now coming in. That's looking solid. Okay. Getting another fighter would be probably pretty good. Going for the next level of tech would definitely be good, but I need to make sure that we have enough food first so we can finish this objective. A makeshift kitchen will only slow me down, so I'm going to say no to that. Let's get some storage for our production of fuel. What I want to do now is probably claim another forested region, but it's so expensive until we get ourselves into winter. So I'm going to hold off on that. Throw away a little food sucks right now. Now I feel like I don't have much of a choice but to do a scavenge. I didn't want to do that, but our impatience is going to come and kill us in a second. So let's just go ahead and speed it up. Do a scavenge. Not how I normally would want to handle this. Not at all. But I feel like I've been backed into a corner from a negative event, and you know what? There are worse things. We can live with this. Nausea would mean that I lose even more food, so I'm glad that we're not losing that right now. If I move up here with some fighters, we might be able to draw these zombies away, and that would make this relatively safe for us. So there we go. We are at 10 food. I just need a little bit more to make sure it maintains that even through our normal consumption, which we are doing. Great. Let's get some additional storage going there in a couple of different places. I'll even build some storage for some wood production because I've had issues with wood production on this map in the past, and I want to make sure that we have plenty. So there we go. So that's now taken care of. I can move here. This might draw some attention, but I'm okay with that because as long as I've got defenders nearby, we'll be fine. What I'm shooting for is just a claim cost reduction by the time that winter hits, which is going to be soon. So now we need to claim 2 swamps. We've already got 1. That's right up over here. So this is normally where I would say go ahead and start expanding in this direction. There's also the other one right here. This is what I recommend going for. And we're going to have to start clearing out some of the infestations following this. So you want to go for your next level of technology at this point as well so you can deal with it. So this is when you want to start doing a lot of either exploration or you want to start doing a lot of expansion. Going for these forests as well as this grain here would certainly be nice. And it's all on the way of getting the extra swamp. So that makes sense to me. We did get a claim boost down here. I'm going to go ahead and move down with the fighters since this is reduced. These guys can stay put. We're going to have to deal with some zombies as they come through. The tech is going to give us a little bit of extra strength, though, and that is certainly going to help. Technology level 4 is nice, but probably a bit too much. I will go for a cattle farm since we are going into winter in just a moment. And let's go for a quick charcoal pit. Then I want to save up some stamina and get ready for some expansion. I was really hoping at this point that this was going to get a cost discount because this is where I want to expand. But oh well, I think at this point it's going to be what it's going to be. Let's just go ahead and claim this. And we want to start dealing with some of the infestations, but I've got to get over to this swamp, so we'll go ahead and claim that now just so the impatience does not come back in to get me. We can get ourselves a charcoal pit since we did get an extra forest. In fact, I think with as little... I don't really want to send lots of fuel. With as little of the population as we have, we should actually be able... I'm going to go for the strength here. We should be able to do what? Oh, right. Sorry. Produce enough charcoal to actually not need to do any scavenging. We can actually make our production meet our consumption. And this is one of those rare cases where I don't feel the need to go for a huge amount of population. We don't have to go for pop 10, so we can keep things relatively compact at like 5 or 6 pops, and that's a completely fine thing to do. Now, my morale's become an issue mainly because I didn't have a barracks as I created a new service for me, which is unfortunate. I'm going to lose a little bit of food here. That's probably fine. We will need to do a scavenge since the winter's an issue. Let's go ahead and start cleansing out some of these infestations. So we have not cleared any, but these 3 down here are the obvious choices, so that's what I'm going to go for. Gosh dang it, can you stop demanding all of my fuel? Good thing we're fine during the winter, huh? Yeah, I think so. Let's get ourselves another lumberyard since we do have that here in this foresting area. We're going to need to do a cleanse after this is done, so save a little bit of stamina so we can go ahead and make some progress here. So that's going to get cleansed out pretty easily. There we go. We do have, of course, additional things that I want to get before the end of the winter, so as much as I normally would say let's go ahead and start getting on the offense, it might make sense to save some stamina and do some claims, like up over here in this forest while we can. I see the zombies are very irritated here. I'm going to go ahead and claim this zone because I know they're going to come and attack me in just a minute, so I feel like I might as well. Although they are also coming over here. This is really weird and unfortunate positioning. They're attacking in bizarre spots. In fact, I'm getting attacked by a lot of zombies all at once in ways I was not expecting. Huh. We're getting hit pretty hard. Lots of directions. If we can deal with this quickly, we should be able to get over here and reinforce, and I think we'll be okay. We may have to do a reinforce here, but now we have plenty of strength. Yeah, we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. I'm not even worried about it. Let's get ourselves some things like some kitchens and stuff. Get that morale back up and running. So we're not going to expand a lot more, but now we have plenty of resources. We can afford to just go ahead and kill zombies and do pretty much nothing else but that. Let's make sure we get plenty of storage as well, just so we have enough stockpile to not worry about this going forward. These guys are going to heal and reinforce. We should be able to cleanse all of this out. We've already got some claimed territory in position, so like it's really easy to get enough strength to deal with all of this. This guy's coming to attack in the worst spot. This is annoying, actually. Okay, so we're getting hit really hard here, but we're fine. We get a little upgrade. Fighters get stronger as their health is low. Well, fun fact, all of my guys are pretty low health, so this actually just makes things easier for me, which is a little bit weird, and I'm not accustomed to it, but I like it. Let's go for a couple of medium storage here, another charcoal pits. Just make sure that that stays nice and high. Infestation cleared, and now we move, go for the next one, and so on and so forth. Remember, we also will need to claim more territory, so it's okay to go ahead and do that. We can claim something unnecessary like this, since it is cheap. I don't really like how expensive all the territory is on this map. It really is oppressively hard. Let's also do some exploration in a few different areas here, because we know we're going to have to. Yes, we're not getting a discount because it's not winter and stuff, but I don't really want to wait that long. So this infestation hopefully will get dealt with. We are getting attacked across this river over here. We still have enough strength to be okay. This is one of the more risky endeavors because there are plenty of zombies on this side of the river. It was just really hard to see them. We'll go ahead and start exploring in that direction. Now we need to kill all zombies. So I'm going to go ahead and just let my guys heal up for a second while we explore and or wait for the next winter. Let's go ahead and do some extra fruit. That's fine. I'm going to do a scavenge here. Let's get a grain field, maybe 2. Because why not? You can never have enough resources to make your winter experience very, very, very easy. And then we're just going to stack up stamina and do nothing but wait for exploration and or territory claiming. That is all we care about. We could go for another level of tech, I suppose. But I don't think it's really necessary. We're going to be fine if we don't do that. It's just a little bit of extra fighter strength. I had an event already that made my fighter strength pretty great, so who cares? I really hate waiting for winter, but I think it's fine. We've made really good use of the Arctic Explorer, all right? We've had it expand and explore in bursts, but it's worked, and it's kept everything relatively affordable, so it's going to knock the price down by 2 for pretty much all exploration, and I do want to explore just about everything I can access over here. Maintenance required. We'll send a lot of wood over that direction. It's fine. So we are going to have all this explored soon. That means we can probably safely attack over here. I'm going to start moving in this direction with these fighters. Maybe we can taunt some zombies out of here. It's a little bit tricky at this point, kind of drawing the zombies out where you want them, but it's fine. Stamina production, if your people are happy. Now, we're just going to go for a dictatorship. Yeah, there's a chance of unrest. We get a lot of extra authority. Lots of extra authority, so that's going to be pretty helpful for us. Let's claim this region. It's going to make some people angry. Fine. Send a lot of fuel. I've got lots of fuel, so I'm not worried about it. More fuel over there. We're going to start getting a bunch of little pop-ups. Here come all the zombies. We knew they were going to come and attack over here. That's fine. That's why we claimed this territory. It's why we explored, and it's going to leave these guys wide open. Let's explore, and that's going to be the entire map. So I got nothing to worry about from there, and I really don't need to claim any more territory, I think. Maybe we will toward the very end. But all that matters at this point is just clearing zombies out. I'll claim some of this while it's cheap. I mean, there's no downside to just claiming a couple things. Let's send a lot of fuel here. So I think at this point we should have more than 12 territories. That means if I can finish all the zombies on the map, and I think they're almost all heading toward me right now, then basically as soon as the zombies are dead, we win. That's what's going to happen here, and we should be able to easily deal with this infestation. We got a little bit of medicine. Dude, I didn't even get a high enough tech level to worry about medicine. It's kind of refreshing for once, not having to rush all the technology and not having to worry about all the population. This one was so easy in comparison. It's just you have to be very cautious in your expansion. But as long as you do that, we're going to be fine. So these zombies are about to go down. That's going to complete this objective. We have 12 areas. We finish. Boom. See? Not so bad. Only 4 stars tells me that I could have gone faster on something. Part of that is the Arctic Explorer slowing me down and making me work in bursts. But overall, not that bad. We have plenty of authority, plenty of morale. We only used 4 population. Maybe if I'd gone for 5, since we had the technology, we could have gone a little faster. That might have been the real trick to it. But anyway, not a bad mission. All in all, just be careful about how you expand. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, make sure you hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.